No, you're good. Really tight out of these corners.
All right, everybody, welcome to tonight's running of round two of the Inspired Racing League Cup Series. And right now, Colton Ward leads the way. Aaron Stanton,
He was
Cade
wrecking the
Cannon,
one.
Josh Henderson, Jordan Jorno. That's the top
Somebody was on top
five
of the
in
wall.
practice right now, with just under 2 minutes to go. Of course, Aaron Stanton and Colton Ward now sitting 1-2. Last week at Darlington, an epic battle between the two. Aaron Stanton would lead 100 laps, but at the end of it, Colton Ward will come out victorious. And if you're Aaron Stanton right now, you're looking just to try to go one more. Just stay one more spot above. Go ahead and try to lock yourself in early. If you win 2 races here in the playoffs and you are a part of the playoffs, then you automatically lock yourself into a slot at Homestead for a championship. Hey, how you doing? So, of course, knowing tonight and the ramifications of tonight, we'll go ahead and look at the. So, go ahead and look at the. If I can get my words right here. Go ahead and look at the Cup Series point standings following last week at Darlington. Shane Harr up by 68 points. Aaron Stanton up by 56. Elijah Fisher received a 15-point penalty following Darlington. With that being said, he's still seated pretty decent above the cut line, as is Mike Hauser. Cade Cannon out by 29. Stephen Henning out by 40. Josh Henderson out by 44. And Jordan Jorno out by 51. That's coming into tonight. Right now, some drivers rolling out to begin their qualifying laps. If I'm not mistaken, Cade Cannon will be the first one to post a lap. Of course, Cade had a very strong car at Darlington last week. Ultimately, we go awry later on in the race. So right now, Cannon fastest in the first sector, which is the first half of the racetrack, in turns 3 and 4 now. Cade Cannon to set the time to beat at the line, 31.223. Josh Henderson slides in third. Stanton slides in second now. Jorno Chevrolet putting up a great number. See, Elijah Fisher clocks in fourth quickest. A lot of the championship 8 drivers trying to make something happen, of course. About 4 weeks now, we will see the final 4 who will be running for the championship at Homestead. Shane Harr, top of the board. 31.216. So Shane Hart brings it to a halt. Still some drivers finishing up qualifying. Stephen Henning, one of them. And I love that paint job, that money line, number 12. At the line, does Henning improve his time? He does. Good enough for ninth. Mike Hauser, Thomas Hernandez, 4th and 5th. Well, I mean, if you're Mike Hauser, just do what you've been doing the whole night, pretty much the whole season. And just staying out of trouble, keeping the car about as clean as it can be. Still got a little bit of a season left. He comes into the night. Plus 29 to the good, but we know how fast that can change in a heartbeat. Robert Will Hoyt. He'll be looking to add to his lap. Black flag actually for the through, so his lap might not count. With a minute left, Brent Hammerhand has actually just finished his 2 laps. Will be seated 12th at the moment. Will Hoyt, Darcy Hard, Jason Williams, Colton Ward. The only ones not supposed to time yet with 50 seconds. Safe to say Shane Hart will probably get the pole again. Let me see. With 5 seconds remaining in qualifying, it will be official. Shane Hart on pole. Of course, it was a disappointing run at Darlington for Shane last week. Looks to try to rebound with that get the momentum back in his favor. The safest of all the 8 playoff drivers tonight, plus 62, or plus 68, I'm sorry. That being said, we'll let race control go ahead and dial up his thing real quick. Alright, everybody, welcome to Atlanta. 6 sets of tires tonight, 5 in the pits, 1 already on the car, 162 laps. Pace car speed limit 65, pit road speed limit is 50. You can get 1 fast repair. Best of luck, everybody. So we'll see if we can go and get Shane Hart in the booth. Shane Hart, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
I do. What's happening?
Well, buddy, it seems like it's starting to become a daily thing here, starting out front, getting interviewed first out of everybody. Last week, a bit of a disappointment. Had a fast car early on, but eventually, one little mistake kept snowballing into eventually it resulted into a DNF. So how do you take the results from last week and try to move forward going to Atlanta here tonight?
Yeah, like you said, 2 weeks in a row here now at the pole. So if anything, we can, build off that. All we got to do is, stay patient. Stay out of the wall for one. That seems to be our biggest Achilles heel. So we stay out of that. I think we'll have a chance today. So this is where we like to play. Tire saving and where we like
No,
to
you
excel.
may not.
So we'll see what we can do.
All right, buddy. Best of luck to you. Shane Hall rolling golf from the pole tonight. Appreciate that, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
Yep.
All right, man. Light you back on the pace car. We're not going green this time. We are not going green.
Sorry, outside lane. Car did not want to start.
So we can't get a couple more playoff drivers' opinions before we roll off here. Aaron Stanton, Garrett Jenkins up in the booth. You got a copy?
What's up, Garrett?
Well, buddy, rolling off third tonight. Led 100 laps last week. Unfortunately, the win was not in the cards. Do you feel like that you got just as good a car tonight as what you had last week? And what's going to be one of the challenging aspects of this track that you and the others are going to face?
Car feels good. I'm just not sure. This is going to be a super tire save the entire Managee race, so I'm not really sure how that's going to go. Just going to go along with it and see what happens. I don't really have anything to say about that, just because I have no idea, so. Right, so.
All right, buddy. Well, best of luck to you. Hopefully, we talk to you at the end of this thing in victory lane. Aaron Stanton rolling off third. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Thanks.
That means
Garrett,
that-
you will.
I just gave you one.
It did not pop.
Why do you want one?
Hey, Garrett, on the broadcast, you can barely hear you, just so you know.
Did it go through this time?
Yes, sir.
Jesus almighty. Well, unfortunately, we're not going to get to go through the field because we're running out of time here. Not sure why people are saying, not sure why the people are saying the audio is low. About as loud as what they can be. That being said, Shane Hart, K. Kenner brings them down. And we are rolling from Atlanta. Shane immediately clears the 9 of Cannon right now, side by side, going down the back straightaway. Of course, Aaron Stanton says it's going to be a tire-saving game. Mike Hauser trying to go and break into the top 3 already.
First in yellow.
All right, man. Caution is out.
And we're already under caution for even completing
Check
one
it,
lap.
pace car.
AJ Thompson, you see the remains of that
We got to let the pace
number
car back.
18.
Checking up on the back, guys.
Let's go ahead and look what happened. Jesus almighty. AJ Thompson hard into the outside wall. We're going down back straight. It's already loose. You can see down the back straightaway. Car's already unhappy. Doesn't want to be there. Will Hoyt made it through momentarily, but Thompson just gets the wall and hard into the wall it goes.
Sorry, Bobby. I forgot I was on the clutch. No problem.
Hard into the wall it goes.
Hey, Camo, does that remind you of something?
That being said, under caution. And I'm pretty sure after reviewing this incident, race control is ready for their assessment of things. After reviewing the incident, the 18 gets loose, triggering the incident. The 18 will receive the EOL at this time. Thank you.
Don't matter if you give it to me, I'm already gonna be in the very back.
All right, now we're under our first
Don't matter
caution.
if you give me the EOL, no, I was gonna be in the very back one lap down.
I'm doing my job.
I know.
Oh, Jesus H. Christ.
Now this is the word here to say, I'm alongside Kevin Harvick, and I'm in a Kevin Harvick base team.
That really just took me a chat to. Line up here for the
I just got
restart.
out.
Line up for the restart here. Shane Hart, Aaron Stamp brings them down pace truck into pit road. We're going to try this one more time.
Flag, green flag.
Another great jump out of 21. Stan's going to fall in line side by side for third. Thomas Hernandez trying to round out the top five. A little couple cars jostling further in the field. Mike Hauser's already moved up into third. Takes it for Kate Cannon. Started outside front row, side by side with Hernandez for the third spot. Or the fourth spot, I should say. Clint Ward, way back there, that number 42 has already worked himself back up into the picture here, trying to work himself up right now in seventh. Robert Wilhoit trying to defend seventh from Ward. It's a dog fight back here in mid-pack for Shane Hart, Stanton, and Jorno. You're pretty much safe for the moment. Jordan Jorno with the fastest lap early at a 31.335. The Taco Bell Chevrolet coming to the front. Meanwhile, big battle for the lead, Jorno and Shane Hart. And pretty much Shane gives it to him. So Jorno out in front, of course. One extra bonus point for the driver that leads the most laps. If you're Jorno coming in here out by 54 points from the top four, every point matters tonight. Right now you see Shane falling back just a little bit. He falls into the clutches of Kate Cannon. We're watching here as we run on board with Cannon now. Here again, have to lift just a little bit. Not going to be able to get the run down the back straightaway under 21. Look, notice how you'll see a lot of drivers taking different lines. Some trying to save tires, some trying to make up track position. As Robert Wilhoit, speaking of track position, slides into fourth. And there's the run that we were talking about. And there's Wilhoit, as a matter of fact. So, Shane Har right now starting to drop back ever so slightly. Jordan Jorno out in front. Cade Cannon will now resume the second spot side by side for third between Har and Shane Har and Wilhoit. 152 to go. Right now, Jordan Jorno's led 3 laps as Shane Har had led the opening 7. Already have one caution from A.J. Thompson getting into the wall and collecting about 2 or 3 more cars. As Colton Ward now finally slid into 6th. Mike Hauser was up to 3rd, but now has fallen back to 7th. So right now, the biggest movers of the race so far tonight would be Robert Wilhoit up 15 spots from where he started. Colton Ward up 9 and Jordan Jorno up 7. They're your biggest movers so far tonight. Of course, Jorno in the lead, but Cade Cannon trying to reel him back in. Of course, a little bit of a top 5 breakaway from the rest of the field, other than Bobby Hadaway and Chris Lowe and Elijah Fisher, all well off the pace. See Jordan massively loose off of 4, but able to keep it straight and go down to the bottom, trying to defend. Here comes the 9 like he shot out of a cannon. Looks to the inside, trying to run that middle line, see if he can get a run off the corners. But Jorno able to easily defend it off. Right on board with the 84. Into the wall just a little bit, side by side. If you're Shane Har right now, licking your chops, wanting back in it. That one mistake is about to cost Jorno 1, maybe 2 spots as Cade Cannon takes the lead. Off of 2. Right now, Cade Cannon looking to lead his second lap of the race. You get a great shot at the top 5, but ladies and gentlemen, Colton Ward's coming. Right on board with Colton. Let's just see what his last couple of laps have been compared to. Well, that's actually compared to him and Henderson. But he'll reel in Robert Wilhoit. So right there, you see Wilhoit been slower by about 2/10. Now Colton has a run to the inside. We gotta think maybe Wilhoit burned up the stuff early to try to get that track position. Whatever it may be, Colton Ward on a tear early in this race. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead continues. Shane Har trying to make a run on the bottom, not able to get there. Cannon able to fend it off side by side for 3rd between Stanton and Jorno. And how about the run, though? The run at the outside lane can get it's just enough to maybe defend. Well, I say that. Shane Har still got his nose to the inside of the 9 of Cade. Well, right now, Shane Har really trying to stay with the 9 of Cannon, but you got to think how much is it eating up these tires. We know tonight's going to be all about tires. We got more sets than we normally do in an Inspired Cup race just because of how this track is. Well, I mean, you look at Robert Wilhoit, who has slid back to 9th. Several drivers down to the bottom of the track to keep it straight. The world happy. can't look and see. Jorno and Stanton both. Just look at it real fast. Jorno. A great save by both drivers. Oh no, J.D. Ford maybe thought he was clear. What as Colton Ward bounces off the outside wall just a little bit. No harm, no foul. Hard to say if Jorno was clear or not. Right now, 144 to go, and Cannon still fighting Shane Hoare. Right now, if you're Kay Kenny, you can be easy. You got the outside lane, like you're not turning as much because of it. So right now, you can play it easy. Where if you're Shane Hoare, man, you're wanting to lead. You're wanting to get the lead back. Kay not making it easy. Shane burning up, more tired than what he probably wants to. As Cannon will lead his 8th lap and take over that one bonus point for the moment. But notice how Cade, he's making Shane run the very bottom now. He's trying to make Shane had to turn more than what he wants to. He's trying to pinch that 21 down so the 21 cannot get the run off the corner like he wants. Right now, these two put on a great show and go through the field. But right now, you're watching Cannon and Shane Hoare battle for the lead. Colton Ward 2nd, Jordan Jorno in the 4th spot, Colton Ward 3rd, I should say. Aaron Stanton 5th, Hauser 6th, Henderson 7th, Jason Williams 8th, Hernandez 9th, Robert Wilhoy is still back to 10th. Joseph Maddox, Stephen Henning 11th and 12th, Brent Hammerhand and Bobby Hadaway. 13th and 14th, Elijah Fisher and Chris Lyotta are the last drivers on the lead lap. And 15th and 16th, Darcy Hart and A.J. Thompson 1 and 2 laps down.
Sorry, Josh, check up in front of me.
As you see here, Colton Ward is, oh, Kay's loose! Keeps it straight! What a save!
I'm trying to wreck each other. I can't get around him any other way.
What a save by the 9, keeping it straight, but look who's entered the picture. One, Colton Ward.
Let's not do that.
Right now, if you're the driver of that Sporky car, you're just playing it patient right now. Kay with a great save, but you not know how angry it made them
Sorry, Mike.
rear tires. How would that car be able to handle now they got a little bit of heat built up in them. A little bit more than what they want to have.
Sorry, Mike. I used him in the pit.
Well, it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see because we're going to see how the 9 is going to handle. We'll see if it made any real big difference. 138 to go, still side by side like we've been the last 10 laps. Right now, as you see the brothers of Henderson and Stanton both running 4th and 5th, trying to work themselves up into this top 3 battle for the lead. Playoff drivers as they run. First, Kay Cannon and Shane Hoare versus 2nd, Aaron Stanton and Josh Henderson. And Jordan Jorno, 4th, 5th, and 6th, Mike Hauser in 7th. Stephen Henning Jr. in 11th at the moment. And Elijah Fisher rounding out the 8 drivers going for the playoff in the 15th spot. Right now, it's going to be 136 to go. You got to wonder when our tires actually going to start running dividends for those that have been saving. And I mean, you look at the ticker, these 3 battling for the lead, mainly the 9 and 21. He has brought Stanton and Henderson both into this just under a half a second. You look at Aaron Stanton. Right on board with him now, actually. Let's go to auto control, see how he plays it here. pretty much just seeing how he reacts to these three drivers in front. We know Colt Ward been taking it easy. There's a little bit more. You see the 9 loose in front of the 27. Ward loose to the outside, not able to generate the run. Here comes the run. But Ward has to check up with a big run from Aaron Stanton down the back straightaway. Oh, there it goes, Shane!
3-4. Virgin Yellow 3-4.
Caution is out.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
They had to wonder how long they're going to be able to play like that before calamity strikes.
Really,
Dalton
Rob?
Ward, Aaron
Come on,
Stanton,
man.
Shane Hart got turned.
Frick, brother. You came up. If you would have stayed down, we would have never made contact.
Brother, you're doing like 100 miles an hour. My bad.
Cut the chatter here. Let's get this sorted out.
I was trying to slow down, and then you moved right up into my line where I couldn't go anywhere.
Chatter, please. I got to repeat myself. Well, let's see what happens here. We saw it on the onboard. This will start with Stanton and Shane Hart. But down the back straightaway, I don't know what Shane got loose. I mean, massive loose into the wall. So Shane able to really keep it going, trying to keep the car and railway rails into the back of it.
Car was involved, and I had to pit.
So down the back straightaway, we'll look at it in slow motion here because, I mean, ultimately 21's going to get loose.
Please
down
clear holding in the pits. Give him a minute. He'll get to it.
Swear, it's like ain't like I'm doing about 5 things up here. So loose. So the 21 gets loose. And then
I got you, Garrett. Don't worry. Hold on.
21 gets loose, comes down in front of 27. That's pretty much how I view it here. Let's see if race control views it any different. Unfortunately, what this does is, one, takes out a lot of the favorites early here. Josh Henderson barely squeaking by. How about Jordan Jorno? Well, he doesn't.
Playoffs getting to you, Shane, or what?
So Jorno does get damaged. Hauser and
sucks,
Williams getting involved here. After review the incident, 21 gets loose going down back straightaway, resulting in the caution. 21 gets an EOL. Thank you. Let's see. We're back at the wheel weight.
I'm sorry, Aaron. My car still hooked you even though we were crashing.
I'm sorry too, Colton. I hit the brakes, but I still ended up passing you. Sorry.
Also, a warning to the 3. Just a warning on trying to get woed up a little bit sooner for a wreck here. It will not result in a penalty this time. Just a warning. Thank you.
Nah, you're all good, Colton. I literally had nowhere
That
to
being
go.
said, Jason Williams will inherit the lead. Elijah Fisher in second. Chris Lott third. Josh Harrison fourth. Cade Cannon in fifth. Jason Williams was the only driver not to pit under this last caution here. And we'll re-rack it with 131 to go. We'll go over here and see. I mean, well, actually, Elijah Fisher nor Chris Lota have not pitted either, so it's going to be to see a little bit of a wheel spin, a lot of wheel spin, especially from the 60. He's going to drop all the way to the back. Well, I'm interested to see how these older tires are going to be able to challenge the newer tires. As right now, Elijah Fisher slips out into the lead as Williams and Lyota has fallen back significantly already. Here comes 7-2 of Josh Henderson. Henderson immediately looking to the bottom. Fisher going to try to utilize the outside lane with the run. And he will not be able to get it. As right now you're seeing the effects of 30-lap old tires to new ones already. And it's a game of chess. And right now, Unless there's another quick caution, I believe Fisher and Williams and Lyota's going to be in trouble. So about staying out during this caution like playing Russian roulette. And right now the tires are not helping that case at all. So Fisher slides back into fourth. Josh Henderson now will lead his second lap in the night. And Jordan Jorno on the charge. He has led 5 laps. And Cade Cannon right now has led 17 so far, sitting in third. But right now it's Chevrolet 1, 2, and 3. You can see where your favorite manufacturer is running right now. As my God, Chevrolet 1, 2, 3, and then 4th through 9th, all Fords, followed by the lone Chevrolet of Bobby Hadaway to round out the top 10. Shane Hard got an EOL after this last caution, the highest running Toyota. The highest running Toyota right
70,
now
78.
in 13th.
I was 79. Use a lot of tires spinning out.
Right now is Josh Henderson
God, it sucks.
leads here. Jorno trying to lead some more laps, claim all the bonus points he can claim.
But that was some really good
Jorno
racing.
and Henderson
You're saying
both
that was
came
actually really
into the
fun.
night
Yeah, you
minus 51 and minus 48, or 44 I should say. So both these drivers, these are the ones that are the deepest in the playoffs. Like, they know that realistically, unless something massive happens to any of the other 6 playoff drivers, they have to win 2 races within the next, well, 4 weeks to have a shot at Homestead on August 11th. We're the final 4 based off points. Unless a playoff driver wins 2 races, and if a playoff driver does win 2 races before we go to the cutoff race in Charlotte, or wins in Charlotte, then they will automatically be locked in, and then the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place slots will be determined on points alone. Right now we'll slide through the field here, and here's where the point really is. As you see, the top 3 have accumulated right at a 5-second lead over this pack, led by Mike Hauser, running for Stephen Henning. Talked about him earlier. Meyer to the back right now. Henning trying to play catch up. Has great track position. It was a very frustrating week last week for Stephen Henning at Darlington as you look from the back of Mike Hauser. Where Stephen went to Darlington, it was a struggle right from the get-go, as it was for a lot of the playoff drivers. See Henning now starting to fall back. Justin Maddox has worked himself into the top 5. But yeah, for Stephen Henning though, he knew he came into last week only minus 18 to the good. With that DNF, put him minus 29. So Stephen is one of them. He knows he has got his work cut out for him. But if there's anybody who knows about winning in tough situations, it would be the driver of the 12. But right now, 6.5 seconds off the lead. Henning knows that right now he just needs to ride and try to save the tires. You see now Henning actually starting to slide back into the clutches. Now drops 2 spots.
45th.
See Hayden Williams taps out. He will be coming in this time. Or Hayden Williams, Josh Williams, my mistake. Thinking of Arthur. 122 to go. Josh Harrison led 9 laps. Right now, the most led by Cade Cannon at 17. Why is that important? Again, 1 critical bonus point to the driver who's led the most laps. Right now, Henderson wants to see Cannon as Henderson gave up a lot of time. A massive amount of time going into turn 1. They will slide back up into Jorno. last, let's look at our nice little pit stint strategy here. So, Hayden Williams and Elijah Fisher, Jason Williams, Fisher, and Lyota on a 39-lap stint as they run. Williams just now pinning. AJ Thompson goes to the apron to avoid the leader. So if Williams can go about 40 laps, then potentially
No problem.
40 laps, maybe 45, somewhere between 35 and 45, just to play it safe. We'll have to see if we get a green flag run here. How Henderson and Jorno and the rest of the pack, how far can they go before they tap out? When you think about it, knowing how Fisher and Lyota, how strategic they can be, perhaps they're thinking long run and this strategy that they're on, potentially trying to flip it. Go long now, but then you'll catch everybody. It'll be all sequence, so maybe they could get a good run here. We'll have to find out and see. But right now, Henderson leading the way. He's led 13 laps already. We'll go through the field. .43. This is a warning on the internet. If it does not straighten itself out, I'm going to have to ask you to drop back to a reasonable distance and just ride till it does. But for right now, just a warning. We'll actually look back in here. Most of these drivers did end up pinning. Shane Haar trying to play catch up right now, running in the 7th spot. Of course, and think of how it's been a rough start to the playoffs already. A DNF last week to start the playoffs, able to gain 2 points to the cut line and become plus 68 here. So right now, the driver 21, the safest right now, but right now has not been the Shane Haar type of playoffs that he has wanted it to be. 6 wins of the season. Of course, if you're Shane, I mean, you know that you're just coming off a win at Daytona. Last week was not go good, and now the issues tonight. How is this going to affect his mindset if he does qualify, whether on points or wins alone into the Final Four? How would the momentum shift after coming off a great regular season but a rough start already in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs? Well, just so we're going to see how it goes. Go on back through the field. We'll check in on the front 3 here. As right now, Henderson still leading. Jordan Jorno and Cade Cannon. Mike Hauser running in 4th. Here's Dan holding on to a top 5 spot with Colton Ward right on his tracks. Shane Haar running 7th. Justin Maddox in the 8th spot. Stephen Henning 9th. Robert Will Hoyt right now.
Careful your wagon.
Right now, Will Hoyt trying to defend the 10th spot from Thomas Hernandez. Brent Hammerhand running in the 12th spot. Bobby Hadaway in 13th. There you look at Hadaway's Napa Patriotic Scheme. Elijah Fisher finally taps out and comes in. Look back at the stint length here. Fisher went 46 laps on this set of tires. So one can say somewhere between 40 and 46 maybe is the pit window, whether it's for tires or fuel or both. Right now we'll come back to the front. Pretty much settle things out. Josh Harrison, not nowhere near a big gap, but a comfortable lead on Jordan Jorno at 0.3 of a second. Right now, I think the Chevrolet drivers, they've thought to themselves, maybe we need to ride and save tire for the moment. No need to really push it all three guys have extremely fast Chevrolets that could easily get the win tonight. Anyway, another 4-car. The other 4-car situation here. This is the battle for 4th, really. Of course, look at Colton Ward up 10 spots already. Colton Ward, Ward knows that after the great battle these two had last week at Darlington, they know that they can push each other to the limit and be fine. But Colton Ward, not in the playoffs, joined too late in the season to be in the playoffs. Right now, it's just trophy hunting. Trying to be the unpredictable factor that these playoffs have. Because you got to think, if Stanton would have won last week and then could go on and win tonight.
1 car and 3, but he's off the track. He blew up.
If Stanton could have won last week and then win tonight, Stanton would know about a month in advance that he is fighting for a championship at Homestead. But because Colton was able to steal the win at Darlington, and I really stealing is a tough word to really say because he didn't steal it. He had to work for it. But that's just the factors that non-playoff drivers bring to the table. Like Hernandez, like Ward, like Justin Maddox, like Will Hoyt, like Hammerhand, and several other ones. Like, they play a big part of this, especially one who is as dominant as what Colton Ward has shown to be. But right now, Josh Henderson continues to lead. Henderson has actually claimed the bonus point so far for leading the most laps. Still 107 to go. Still far from being concluded. Of course, Henderson was able to get the bonus point at Daytona, and it was part of that bonus point was the reason why he was able to qualify for the playoffs on points alone. Chris Lauda enters the pits after 52 laps. See, Jorno off the wall again back there. Second time we've seen that 84 come off the wall. And really for Jorno and his whole playoff run, it was one thing to make the playoffs. 6 weeks before the playoffs, he was out by 86 points. In that 6 weeks, he clawed himself into being able to point himself in at Daytona. However, in doing so, he would enter the 8th spot as the wild card. No playoff points to his name. Came into last week minus 48, comes into this week out by 51. So Jorno knows that now. He just overcame an 86-point deficit. Now he's got to overcome a 51-point deficit. The difference is there's a little bit less time to do that, and you're going against the 8 drivers that have qualified for the playoffs as well, or the other 7, I should say. So you were able to become the best of the rest, so to speak. But right now, you got to really dig yourself out of this hole. Well, Jorno knows that realistically, he would have to win 2 races still, getting that elusive first win in the Inspired Racing League. Came close at Chicagoland, was oh so close. But on the last lap, it went awry. And right now, Kay Cannon's tired of running in 3rd. Cannon looks to the outside lane. Cannon maybe wants to take the lead back. Brent Hammerhand came into the pits a lap ago. Hammerhand wanted in that pit around lap 30. So somebody in the comments section asked, well, when should we expect pit stops? Well, there's about 2 or 3 different strategies going on right now. So you can see pit stops. Now you can see pit stops 15 laps from now, 20 laps. It just depends on who's doing what. But the majority of this field from first to about first to 13th or 12th, first to 12th, they're on the same strategy. 31 laps since they pitted. That includes Henderson. That includes Jorno. That includes Cannon. That includes the majority of this field. Is how long can they withstand? The longer this run goes, can they make it a whole fuel run, or will they have to concede to handling? Personally, to me, the goal would be try to stretch it. Try to stretch the tires enough to where I have to stop I got to make a fuel stop as long with tires. If you cannot do that, well then you're severely off sequence. In a way, you got to pit earlier than these guys. You'll lose the track position. God knows if you can make it back up. So it's really about who is stretching the tires the furthest here. Right now, the man that seems to be doing a great job, Josh Henderson, has opened up a 1.2 lead. He's led 31 laps so far tonight. As Henderson off the wall as I say that. Right now, if you're Josh, you're in a very similar boat to Jordan. You know that 2 wins will probably be the only way you can realistically get yourself into a Final Four spot. Unless something massive happens over the next few weeks to the other 7 playoff drivers. Henderson knows what's at stake here. And of course, Henderson, like Jordan, has been so close so many times, has not been able to get the job done in Cup. And of course, you allude back to the preseason as caution is out.
Check on turn 1. Thank you.
Robert Wilhoit against the wall. Put us under caution, and
They struck turn 1.
that'll actually help Elijah Fisher right now. He will be the first car 1 lap down, eligible for the free pass. What happened to Robert Wilhoit? Side by side with Bobby Hadaway. Looks like the 3 comes up. We'll look at
Rob,
it.
you're gonna have to come back to him to
I'm trying to get there.
Look at it in slow motion here. Well, Hadaway all over the place as it is. Very loose, track's very hot. He comes down to arc it. Coming up, Will Hoyt. I mean, if you look at it from one standpoint, Hadaway's coming down the track, but then you look at it exiting that dog leg, straightens it out. Will Hoyt just comes up, makes some contact, significant contact, and into the outside wall, the driver of the 3. Not the night that he wanted. Been involved in 1 incident already. Well, you see Hadaway comes off the wall. That's why Hadaway is all over the place as it is. Hadaway getting it straight. Comes down the track. About the time he gets it gathered up to where it ain't going to be no harm, no foul, Will Hoyt comes up right up into the 52. Right hooks himself and then on into the wall. Most of the drivers under this caution that was in the lead has made a pit stop. And the race control is ready for their verdict. After reviewing the incident, the 3 comes up into the 52, triggering the incident. 3 will get DO out this time. Thank you. So with it being said, top 9.
Just a heads up, I am the. Could I get a clear on the holding penalty? Because Matt 10 got around me because I'm pitting here. This is a free pass. Lucky dog. Thank you. And you'll just have to River Ride, just getting in my big box now. We end up having to go there or whatever.
Alright, man. Like you back on the pace car. We're not going green this time. We are not going green.
So delaying the caution 1 lap. As the free pass car, one thing about being a free pass car, they are eligible for a 4-tire pit stop, whatever what they need to do under this yellow. Get 4 tires, get fuel, and it's one rule in the Inspired Racing League. If the free pass car has not caught up to the field in a timely manner, based off of that, then Race Control has to extend the green, as which Elijah Fisher was in the pits on a 1 to go, so we extended 1 more lap. No harm, no foul. So to re-rack it, Cade Cannon out front, Josh Henderson second, Mike Hauser in third, Aaron Stanton fourth, Jordan Jordan rounds
Hey,
out.
Gary, can you give me an EOL again because it's telling me to patch Elijah.
We can't get a word
Elijah
with.
was supposed to be behind you, Robert.
I got major damage still. I'm not trying to hold him up.
So at 95 to go, Josh Anderson's led 35 laps tonight. Cade Cannon led very early into the first or the second caution of the night, I should say. Able to cycle him back to about third. Now he's back on the front row leading this race. Mike Hauser has not led a lap all night. He's had a quiet night like Mike Hauser normally does. Aaron Stanton restarting fourth, and we are rolling. Cannon and Henderson brings them down to the green. Great start by the 90 Cannon. Another great start by the 84. The 72 does not get going. When you look at it, how does that really affect Henderson? Well, he started second, now sliding to fourth. A great run down the back straightaway. Into 3, Josh Henderson looking to the inside of his teammate, Jordan Jorno. As Mike Hauser will officially lead his first laps tonight. Of course, if you're Mike, the win off Chicagoland, Mike knew for a long time he was going to be in the playoffs. Got to win at Chicagoland in one of the most emotional interviews I think I've ever done. Mike Hauser trying to recapture that feeling one more time and trying to become the first driver that's in the playoffs to win a playoff race. Of course, you mentioned it earlier, Aaron Stanton, he was close to doing that last week. Led 100 laps at Darlington, but Colt Ward able to get him on the last lap, last corner. So right now, as you see, Hauser up the track a little bit. He's about to be under assault from Jorno right now. Right now we have the Cheerios versus Taco Bell. Not sure which one I would pick over that one. Side by side for the lead. Your playoff drivers as they run, Hauser and Jorno. Hauser, Jorno, Henderson, Cannon, and Stanton. That's the top 5. And that is the 5 of the 8 playoff drivers. Elijah Fisher, Shane Hard, 9th and 10th. Stephen Henning has fell back to 12th. Of course, it's really been a struggle for several playoff drivers, a massive struggle for them. Last night at Steele, side by side, Hauser able to clear it. This is the first time we've really seen a Ford be able to do anything at the front. Well, if anybody's going to be able to hold off these Chevrolets, I bet Mike Hauser would. Right now, 90 laps to go. Hello, Hernandez!
A review from Textron.
If people would just
And
give me,
here's the train pulls.
just give me time, people. What I want.
Pace car is going to be coming off at 2 here, guys. Get ready to check out.
Under the 4th caution of the night, Thomas Hernandez goes for a
Thomas,
slide.
are you good or are you damaged?
I'm good, but I am damaged. I'm gonna see how much this is, though.
We'll go ahead and
Pace
review
car
it.
off at 2. Going in 3.
Hard into the concrete. We'll rewind it here. Let's just recycle the stain through the middle of 1 and 2. So Hernandez coming up the track. Lyoto with a big run as the top side seems to get. Coming. 77 slides up into Lyoto. So there's the first initial contact. Gets the 77 loose, and then from there, just turns him in a massive hit. If it had been about another 20, 30 feet beforehand, he would have hit that safer barrier, but instead makes massive damage with the concrete barrier. So again, Lauda, he knows he's coming with a run. Maybe the 60 does not anticipate the run's coming. I mean, with full head of steam, and really loud. I mean, he's too far into it. The run's coming too big for him to really. He checks up, he's going to get ran over by the 4. So really, ultimately, I really. Well, I mean, the 77 should know that the run's going to be coming. If he slides up, the chances of the 60 having time to lift, little to none. I got to put that on 77. That's what I say. So, after reviewing the incident, 77 slides up in front of the 60. 60 from race control's vantage point does not have time to lift. So the EOL will go to the 77 for sliding up in front of the 60 a little late trying to do the slide job. Thanks. Whatever. Well, we had one long green flag run, and now it seems like we're going to start getting a couple cautions here. Perhaps we'll be getting another green flag run. Cautions breed cautions. Yeah, look correct. So cautions breed cautions here right now under our 4th one tonight. After what's been, in retrospective, maybe I'm being a little too hard here. In retrospective, it's actually been a good race so far. Long green flag run strategy's off the chart here. Drivers trying to go long. Who can go longer than the other one is pretty much the name of the game here. Pace truck's going to be in this time. Night Hazard Josh Anderson will be bringing them down to the restart zone.
Green flag, green flag.
86 to go at the line. We're rolling again. Another great jump by the 43, about the best you could ask for. About Jordan Giorno having a great run tonight. We've talked about him all night being in the top 3 majority of this race. Here comes Stanton, 3 wide for the moment. Cannon rolls out of it. Well, I thought for sure the brothers were going to come together, but right now they stay side by side. Colton Ward in the mix. Kay Cannon goes from the bottom floor to the top floor. That's Fisher loose. What I say by the 4.
What are you blocking me like that for, Cade?
They hear the frustration.
I moved up to get out of the lane, man. Watch
Yeah, hear the 4 of Alana Fisher a little upset. But right now, you can take the top 7. You can just about throw them under a blanket. You can really take the top 5 and for sure put a blanket over them. How about Josh Henderson trying to get back to the lead? He's led 35 laps tonight. Jorno's led 6. Here comes here comes Shane Hard. See the hitting in the mix. Right now, I mean, this is great. I mean, this is really good stuff here. Great action here, side by side for third between the two brothers of Stanton and Henderson. Colton and Kane both side by side. That is the battle. Well, really, there's a battle all over the place within this top 7, top 8. Elijah Fish after a massive slide, trying to rebound, trying to get back up there. See Jorno up and down, really trying to keep the 43 of Hauser behind him. We're going right on board with Mike Hauser and watch the dashboard. See, Jorno, look at the defense. He's taking, what Jorno's trying to do is take all that air away. But he made one mistake. Hauser got to the bottom of the track. Hauser able to cut back under him. Side by side now for the lead. Get the dashboard up, see how fast Hauser can get back into the gas. Here comes Aaron Stanton with a run on the outside. Of course, if you're Aaron Stanton, you want redemption, trying to get a win here, but there's take the top 8, and really it's a toss-up on who can get the job done. Elijah Fisher, we'll talk about him in a moment. Up 3 spots from where he started. One thing that everybody seems forgotten, it just came back to me. Elijah going for the Atlanta sweep. Won the Super Speedway Atlanta on Saturday night. Trying to go 2 in a row and trying to sweep Atlanta on both nights. Right now, the 4 of Fisher has been an up and down night. Rode in the back, got some track position on old tires, had to pit, was a lap down, got the free pass. And now with cautions, it's cannon off the wall a little bit. With the way the cars have failed, the 4 Fisher back in this. Right now, oh, Jesus, right now, he's in the hornet's nest. Cannon now looking to the inside of Jordan for Fisher to get the job done. He's got to go through a bunch of hungry Chevrolets, one hungry Toyota, and about 1 or 2 of his teammates on forward to get the job done tonight. Right now, never too early. As Jorno into the wall a little bit, no harm, no foul. They scatter a little bit, Stanton down to the 3rd lane. Henderson looked to make it 3 wide, thought better of it. I'm going to say it now before something big happens here with these front runners. If you want to shout out your favorite driver, now is the chance to do so. And if you feel froggy and want to jump, you can try to predict the race winner tonight as Fisher. A little loose entering 1, 3 wide for 2nd. Man, this is the best racing you're ever going to see. Like, it's chaotic. Fisher down to that 3rd lane, going to make it 3 wide for 3rd, potentially 2nd. Right on board with Jordan Jorno as he watches all this from out of his back bumper. Back bumper, rear view mirror. Man, I mean, you don't see much action like this right now. It seems like they're trying to settle down for a moment. You gotta imagine how hard these jokers have been running. Yeah, it's probably 8 all them tires up. Bobby Hadaway starting to come into the picture. 52 Napacore in the back. So is Steven Hitting. Right now, I think really the only person, Jordan Jorno, has been the only guy really able to save tires as the 2x2 behind him has actually been able to help him, but he has not been able to get away. See Cannon loose again. Going to potentially get taken 3 wide. Stanton has not made the move, but Shane Hard to the bottom. Shane Hard trying to rebound after the second caution of the night. So since then on, he has been trying to play catch up. Really, you can take all 8 of the playoff drivers and pretty much they're within this pack, all the way down to Steven Henning.
Robert, I'm getting some blinking from you here, man. Take it easy.
Joseph Maddox slow in the back straightaway. Well, let's see what happens. Oh, bam. Hard into the wall. Keeps it straight. We stay green. But that's what happened to Joseph Maddox and why he is slowed down the back straightaway. Now entering the pits. No caution to keep it straight. Really now they've Jordo tried to build a bit of a cushion to this snarling pack behind him. Aaron Stanton slides up in the second. 3 wide for a 4th. Well, I think Stanton and Cade both, they're going to try to keep in touch with Jordan, try to break away from this. The last thing any of these playoff drivers need to see, as it was close right back there between Henderson and Shane Hart, the last thing any of these playoff drivers need to see is them getting caught up into a wreck. Ironically, I'm pretty sure all 8 of them are licking their chops, hoping that they do get, one of their competitors does get involved in a wreck. Meanwhile, Aaron Stanton, believe it or not, has not led a lap officially tonight. Trying to change that right now to the inside of Jordan down the back straightaway. Hard to believe after the 27 led 100 laps of 184 last week at Darlington. Hard to believe he has not officially led a lap tonight. Does not look like he'll be able to do it this time as Jorno fighting back on the outside lane at the line. Give it to Jorno. They got several fans for several drivers. I got Henning, I got Hernandez, I got Hammerhand fans in the crowd tonight, Fisher fans. Working lap 95 here will reiterate the pit strategy linked here. Right now, drivers are working 29 laps. Fisher, as Elijah Fisher will be in this time, so it just goes back to strategizing. Right now, Elijah Fisher will concede the top 5 spot for right now as Cannon loose. Easy, baby. Damn, Cannon was loose. Really does have a meaning to lose Cannon. Cannon in the wall. Oh, there goes Stanton. They're wrecking. Shane Har's in it. Colton Ward, Aaron Stanton, Steven Henning,
Thanks for that.
Chris Lyota. Playoff drivers galore. Shane Har hard into the wall. Good gosh almighty. With 66 to go, take the playoff picture, dump it on its head. Steven Henning, massive damage as well. Colton Ward, a meatball, he has damage. He can't even turn the car hardly. Well, you know it's going to be big when Aaron Stanton got turned. Let's look at it.
I don't know why we couldn't just race and not try and battle up front like it's the last lap.
Oh, look at here. So Cade gets loose. That really kind of maybe starts this. Well, we'll have to see here. Cade back into the wall. It forces the 27 and maybe had to come down a little bit.
I don't know how I'm going to turn.
We're going to look at it here in slow mo here.
Crap.
So.
That's going to be tough. You can slow down if you want. I'll stay behind you.
So really,
Garrett, I have an I have a holding for passing when the 42 can get me.
I was in pit road. Why would I be a lap down?
Hey, I got trapped 2 laps down without getting passed by the leaders, so I don't know.
give me a moment. All right, can I please have radio silence for just a couple minutes while I try to figure out this whole situation here? Can't think. All right, so Kay gets into the wall, so that's going to really put a lot of drivers into a pickle here. Stanton comes down seeing the 9. And really, they all just come together. From there, I thought they had it saved. I really did. But apparently, Hadaway gets into the 27. That's what sends it. And from there, they just wad it up. And a lap here. So after revealing the incident, this all starts when the 9 gets into the wall one time and then slides back up into the wall again, triggering a bottleneck effect. That being said, the 9 will be the cause of caution and will only get an EOL at this time. Thank you. Because this does not happen if the 9 does not come off the wall.
Darcy, did you make it through that?
Oh, no. Also, a warning to the 52 failing to try to check up in time, as they pretty much had it saved until then, but this is just a warning to the 52. No EOL or nothing like that. Thank you. Talk about a loose cannon. It is what it is. Regardless, Mike Hauser will resume the lead here. And anybody that questions that call later on, it does not happen if the 9 does not get it come off the wall to begin with. They are not in that bottleneck situation. But when the 9 comes off the wall, you see it in the slow motion camera. Aaron's got to come down, seeing the 9 coming off the wall. And Henderson is already there, so sure there's something about it. Going to be 62 to go whenever they take the green here. Colton Ward just coming back out onto the racetrack. Well, I'm sure I ain't being joined in the booth by nobody. I am not, so. To re-rack it here, Mike Hauser, Josh Anderson will bring him to the green. Thomas Hernandez has worked himself up into 3rd. Jordan Jorno 4th. Stephen Henning will round out the top 5. Or Bobby Hadaway will round out the top 5, I should say.
Green, green, green.
We're rolling again. Mike Hauser's led 11 laps.
Little warning there on that. If you can do that, heads up for us.
Hamilton turn. Give me a warning.
It's just the second time you've darted back to the restart.
So right now, top 5 breakaway, Shade Har and 6 trying to play catch up along with Hammerhand, Williams, Fisher, Hadaway, and others. Here comes Josh Harrison back to the bottom of 72, wanting to lead a little bit more. Harrison right now still has the bonus point for leading the most laps at 35. Jordan Jorno has led 24. Cade Ken has led 21. So the battle for this one bonus point not over with at the moment. You see now Henderson trying so hard to clear the 43 of Mike Hauser. See Jorno as well. One of them Steven Henning have not heard nothing out of the 12 all night. And he just set the fastest lap of the race at a 31.301. Thomas Hernandez, another one of them, has had a very quiet night. You see Henning a little loose on entry to 12, loose up the track. Keeps it straight.
With respect and you get none in return.
Right now we focus back in on the lead here. Henderson not going away. But right now you see that the outside lane able just to get a run, just enough to not let the inside lane clear. So it shows that both lanes all night has been competitive. Just as you see Henderson loose again, driving that car for all it's worth. Here comes Jorno to the outside of 72. Really what you have is about 3 distinct.
You're blinking. I can't tell where you're at. I almost ran you over.
Here comes a shot. Shane.
Yeah, look at Jorno now.
That was terrible. Sorry. I tried.
No, you're good. That's
Jorno trying to battle back. Henderson cannot get the job done on the
It's like,
bottom.
I'm gonna
Jorno's
try.
saying, well, let me see what I can do. Here comes Jorno, but right now the run fades out before it can really start. Right now, if you're Mike Hauser, you're trying to disrupt all that air that the 84 is getting. You're trying to force the 84 tight or loose. It just depends. If you go right to the back bumper, if you follow the car directly in the same line, your car, for instance, if Jorno follows Hauser, same line, same thing, Jorno's car is going to push, but it also depends on how the air is going over the car. It depends on how the air is being manipulated. You can get tight, you can get loose. So really, Mike Hauser.
Review the start finish line.
I believe Darcy was involved.
Throw it.
I can confirm it was Darcy.
What in the world is going on? Is there a full moon tonight?
Slow down for the pace car 1 and 2.
Potentially. So look at this here, because all this crap. So Darcy gets loose off the corner. Well, I mean,
Pace car on back going into 3.
let's see how this starts here. There's contact between Will Hoyt and Darcy. It does result in 2-car contact, so regardless. Well, let's look at it from Robert Will Hoyt's side of things here. So look right here from Will Hoyt's side of things. Ooh, hold up now. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Darcy coming down. Will Hoyt's coming up. They just meet. The way it looks from that angle. Right here you see Will Hoyt's already sliding up at the same time. Darcy's, well, God, why has it got to be tough calls like this? Alright, to reveal the incident, the way it looks from my camera angle, the 3 and a 35, one goes up, one comes down, causes the 35 to spin. 35 goes through the grass, Hadaway gets involved in it. No EOLs at this time. It will be considered a racing incident. Thank you. Try to keep it clean here, guys. I'm going to look at it after the race. So that being said, 13 drivers still eligible in the hunt. Aaron Stanton out of the race. I'm surprised. Surprised he ain't joining me up here in the booth.
Green flag, green flag.
We're rolling here. Hauser and Giorno. Hernandez, a little bit of a wheel spin. $52 to go. Do we run it out under green, or is there another caution waiting in the future? We'll find out. Down the back straightaway. Great run by Mike Hauser. A great restart, about the best you could ask for. Stephen Henning underneath Giorno for third. Cannon and Fisher and Har all trying to work themselves back up. Each one's had their own separate incidents. Well, for half the field, they've already used their one and only fast repair, so a lot of these drivers having to play it safe before their night is done. A.J. Thompson back out on track, 51 laps down. Hernandez, Bally Fisher tight back there for the 5th spot. We're looking to run at that 4 again. I believe that the 4 really is one of the most underestimated cars right now, just by how the car is handling up top. You see a little bit of the splitter dragging the track here. See Fisher from top to the bottom, 3 wide for the lead. Henderson backside of it. No, he does not. 3 wide again. Elijah Fisher's not. Elijah Fisher's not lit a lap all night officially till now. The 4 out front.
I'm back.
Right now, if you follow the ARCA series on Saturday nights, you'll know Elijah Fisher tried to complete the Atlanta double. Be the first driver be the first playoff driver to win in the playoffs. If he could go on to win tonight, if he wins any of the next 4 races after this, he will automatically lock himself in. And that's where it differs from actual NASCAR. Instead of winning the one you're in, if you're a playoff driver and you win 2 races, that is what's going to lock you in. So you see why drivers like Henderson and Giorno is desperate to win, because they know it's their only shot. If they can win one, and then they can win another one. Because after tonight, it's only going to get harder from here after tonight. The next 3 weeks is going, if Darlington and tonight does not test these playoff drivers' ability to win, really going to dig deep. Next week, July 14th, Bristol. Followed by that, North Wilkesboro. And then that'll be July 21st, and then July 28th, New Hampshire. Then we're next 3 weeks, and then finally we will be going to Charlotte, where after 250 laps around Charlotte Motor Speedway, August 4th, the final 4 will be decided. And finally, August 11th, the quest for 4 drivers that will have to go 200 laps around Miami. And may the best man win, because the one that with the best finish is going to be the one who walks out of that with the championship. So, if you really think that last week and this week are challenging the playoff drivers, I feel sorry for them going to Bristol and North Wilkesboro and New Hampshire next week. I feel bad for race control too. All right, now we go back to the lead here. A rivalry reignited again. Fisher and Shane Haar, both always seem to drive the best out of each other. Both seems to absolutely bring the aggression, the intensity, and the drive out of each one. Colton Ward, believe it or not, much as I hate to say it, Colton Ward is not third. Ward 2 laps down right now, trying to get one of his laps back. Look to the inside of Shane Haar here. Of course, Shane Haar and Colton Ward, one of the best finishes in Inspire Racing League history, battled each other for 15, 20 laps straight, side by side at Rockingham, in what was actually one of the best races of the schedule. At the end, Shane Haar was able to get one up over Colton Ward. And really, if the opportunity represents itself, I feel like Ward would not make the same mistake that he made at Rockingham that cost him that win. But Ward tried to make it 3 wide, was not able to get there. Right now, Ward stays 2 laps down for the moment. Meanwhile, we'll go back to the field here. Bobby Hadaway and Robert Wilhoit not for position. First car 1 lap down. The only car 1 lap down, I would say. Right now, I mean, I understand.
Oh my God, I almost killed you, Shane.
I mean, I understand Will Hoyt's 1 lap down, but I mean, if I was him, I'd let the 52 go on by. Let his teammates try to battle it out here, but then again, you also got to respect the drive that Will Hoyt shows. Always wants to be competitive, always wants to be in the picture. We'll focus back to the battle up front with Shane Haar now. For the first time since lap 7, Shane Haar leads at Atlanta. So it has been an up and down night for the 21. Not last week uncharacteristic of the 21 in Shane Haar. After a DNF to start, but still the way the points fell and how drivers finished, was able to gain 2 points from where he started at plus 66. So Haar walks into the night plus 68 to the good. Right now leads the points in the playoffs for say. Again, for those of you tuning in late, this is round 2 of the play. You see Fisher off the wall. But this is round 2 of the Inspired Cup Series playoffs. We'll actually reiterate the points again with 5 races remaining. That includes tonight. Shane Harr up by 68 points. Aaron Stanton was in by 56, but Stanton out of the race. So that is really going to tighten up the bubble for, say, Elijah Fisher plus 36 after a 15-point penalty after an incident at Darlington last week. Then Mike Hauser came in plus 29 above Cade Cannon. Stephen Henning out by 40. Henderson out by 44. Jordan Jorno out by 51.
Josh, you want the outside or inside?
I think I should get
We see Fisher now trying to keep Colton Ward from getting up there to the 21. Brent Hammerhand comes in. And some of y'all wonder, well, why is Fisher battling Colton Ward? Well, to put it lightly, if you're a playoff driver, if you're one that could win this race, you've had a dominant car like Henderson, a fast car like Harr, Fisher, Jorno, Hauser, Cannon. You really want Colton Ward back on the lead lap, because Colton Ward is a threat everywhere we go. He's proven it both on Monday nights and Saturday night. So where most drivers would let the 42 go, I can kind of see why Fisher is trying to keep Ward at bay, because if Ward gets a lap back, works himself into a free pass position on the 3 to 95, Colton Ward would be right back into this game. With 35 to go. Right now, Shane Harr with a 0.4 of a second lead.
Pitting in.
But here's Stephen Henning coming in this time after a 30-lap run. Of course, Henning an up and down night right now. Was running about the 9th spot, 9th or 10th before coming in this time. Perhaps a strategy game by the 12. We'll have to see. We'll go on back through the field. Bobby Hadaway trying to play catch up to the front two. Josh Henderson, who has led the most laps tonight, still running in 4th. Thomas Hernandez in 5th.
43 pitting this time, Bob.
Mike Hauser will be in this time.
84 pitting this time.
All right, so this is a strategy call. This is what these drivers are making. Well, I mean, if you're the 84, if you're the 43, then, I mean, really, what do you got to lose? All right, 5-6 seconds off the pack. You get fresh tires, might be able to leapfrog, gain some position. But right now, the ball is in Elijah Fisher and Shane Harr's court. When will they pit? How will this affect with a potential short pitting? Will it help Williams and Jorno and Hauser and Henning? Like, really, 32 laps to go here, and really, there's no clear favorite right now as there was on lap 1. Well, the other thing, too. Solo car spin down the back straightaway, no contact. We stay green. Per the rules. Might I add, per the rules. But for those of you wondering why that would be, I have it written down here somewhere. Regardless, the rule states a caution can be thrown if there is two-car contact resulting in a solo car spin. However, if a car solo spins like you just saw the 84 do, if that car solo spins with no contact, we stay green. So we don't have that issue later. I know that's actually going to come up. But right now, several reasons why some drivers pitted early. There's actually a whole different pit strategy underway here that I just caught on to.
Pitting in, pitting in, pitting in, pitting in.
You hear the 60 Lyotas in, but look at this.
Keep pitting in too.
Fisher, Har, Hadaway, Cannon, Darcy Har, all these drivers, they can still go a little bit longer than what the other ones could go. Like Hauser, like Hitting, like Giorno. That's why you have not seen her trying to go a little bit longer and try to keep everybody at bay. Because Lyota is in this time. Like I said, I've already explained the rules, so I ain't got to repeat it. But right now, as they run before Shane Hart, Elijah Fisher, Hadaway, Hernandez, and Cannon, and Darcy Hart on pit. Well, that was pretty much the top 6. Josh Henderson, Mike Hauser.
77 pitting.
As Hernandez will be in this time. Of course, really after this pit stop, it really is going to tell us, once they cycle out, who could be the odds-on favorite. You know, you cannot count out the 21 and the 4 and the 52 and Cannon and Darcy that will be on fresher tires compared to the 72 and others who have already pit. Really, the ones you see that are one lap down, they're the ones that had to pit early, based on their strategy and how it would play out. 25 to go this time. Really just going to determine how fast can the 21 and the 4. Bobby Hadaway's entered the pits. So Hadaway surrenders third to Cannon and on down. Well, Hadaway pitting 30 laps in. You got to imagine when does the 21 and the 4 decide to pit as Shane Har's open up a 1.6 second lead over Fisher. But eventually, they got to come in and make something happen. I wish I had the ability. I'm going to create a poll. Your picks to win. I'm going to try to do this A, B, C, and D. Based off the top 3. The question is, will Shane Har get his 7th win of the season? Will Elijah Fisher get win number 5? Will Cannon get his first win in the Cup Series, or does somebody else in the pack break through and win tonight? And if you want to pick the other, if you pick D and want to say your pick, then feel free to. With 22 to go after this pit stop, it's really going to open up to who. So Elijah Fisher comes in. You see it now. Justin Maddox back through the grass.
I want to pit here, Colton. 21 pit. Oh, hell yeah, the lap.
Same thing he did earlier in the race. Literally the exact same thing he did earlier in the race. Regardless, keeps it straight. We stay green. No harm, no foul. Does not solo car spin. Shane Har is in. They about spun it out too, going on the pit road, trying to hurry up and get in. This should surrender the lead to Cade Cannon for the moment. So right now, there's Cade Jorno trying to unlap himself. Elijah Fisher, 37.0 in the pits, already rolling back out. Right now, you see Cannon, he is letting drivers by on a 34-lap run. Pretty much, Cade Cannon and Darcy Hart, the only ones who have not made a pit stop yet. Josh Henderson, like several others, have managed to unlap themselves. Shane Hart actually now rolling out of the pits here. So, new tires played a benefit with 20 to go. Yes. Yes, these new tires are going to work. You see right now, Josh Henderson on an 11-lap stint already. Mike Hauser, 13. Fisher and Haar both literally just coming out, the fresher tires. If Henderson and Hauser really want to win this race, they're going to have to survive the onslaught coming from Fisher and Haar when they get to them. Right now, you look at Josh Henderson running third. Of course, we're waiting on Cade Cannon and Darcy Hart to pit. Believe it or not, through all of this, Josh Henderson has still holding on to that bonus point. He only led 35 laps, but it's been a strong night for the 72. Right now, you're looking at the current leader, Cade Cannon, who is in the wall. Darcy Hart running the bottom right back there. Is Cade potentially trying to stretch it on tires? Be a unique strategy with 17 to go, but we've seen drivers. Well, again, I'm enjoying getting my use out of this stint length. But we saw drivers earlier, like Oda went 52 laps, Fisher 47. We saw drivers be able to go further than just 30. So either Cannon is trying to stretch it on fuel and the tires, or he is banking on a caution here. Or really, even if he gets a caution would play into his hands, being that other than Shane Hart and Elijah Fisher, everybody else has passed a 10-lap stint on their tires. So right now, going to be interesting. But right now, Darcy Hart trying to give the 9 a run for his money. How about the run for the 35 tonight? He's had a great run all night. Had a couple incidents early. Right now, the strategy working in his favor. Looking to the inside of Cade Cannon again. 15 to go. I almost want to wonder, does the strategy play off for Cade if he is indeed trying to make it? But you look at that ticker. Shane Hart and Elijah Fisher are coming. Shane Hart on a tear. Right now, Darcy still looking to the inside for the lead. He has the lead for the moment, but Cade's going to try to get the run off of 4. Down the front straightaway. At the line, Darcy Hart officially leads his first laps of the race. And still fighting. What a run by the 35. Cade will concede for the moment, but here comes the run on the outside. Right now, Darcy doing everything he can, trying to get clear. But right now, you look at the lead, already 5/10. Either Cade is struggling or Darcy was saving this whole time. 14 to go. Going to be 13. Can you imagine if Darcy Hart wins this race? Man, if Darcy wins, it'll be one of the greatest, probably the greatest moments to go down in this league's history. Giving bragging rights over Shane, too. But right now, we're going to speak of Shane. Here comes the 21. Let's look at the lap times. We're going to see him here. Right there in front, Cade Cannon, 2 seconds slower than Shane Hart. Right now, with 12 to go, Hart versus Hart, father versus son. What a moment. And you got to admit with Darcy, now Darcy knows Shane's coming on fresher tires. Does Darcy try to fight it? Way up the track, down to the bottom. He's going to try to block him to the inside. Shane Hard, no contest. Shane Hard back out front with going to be 11 to go. Darcy tried. You cannot say he did not try. He blocked Shane up top, but then Shane cut right back to the bottom. Right now, with 10 to go, win number 7 could be in the books. I say could be because I am not jinxing nobody tonight. But imagine it. A hard 1-2. But right now, Fisher and Harrison both want to say something about that. See, Darcy R now, the tires are gone. Cade Cannon pits in. The strategy call did not work. You got to wonder now, will Darcy Hard come in or will Darcy try to run it to the end? Right now, we'll try to find some battles going on through the field. You see Fisher now running in 4th. Bobby Attaway having a top 5 run. Mike Hauser 6th. Jason William running 7th. Chris Liotta trying to get up to him and make some, try to get a top 7 finished out of this. Stephen Henning running in 9th. Jorno 10th. Hammerhand 11th. There's Hammerhand. There you look at it, Taco Bell, Cara Jordan. Colton Ward and Cade Cannon both 1 lap down, 12th and 13th, along with Hernandez in 14th. Joseph Maddox 13 laps down, Robert Wilhoit in the pits. AJ Thompson 51 laps down. That is the final through the field here. Right now, 7 to go. Shane Ness coming up on the lap car of Brent Hammerhand. And what a statement! And not so far this year, we're not giving him the checkered yet. Still, with 6 to go, it's going to be 6 this time. Still a ways to go, believe it or not. Seen it happen beforehand, but the year did not start off the best for Shane Hard. Dominant runs, led it every lap at Daytona Road Course, but the final one, Stephen Henning stole it from him. The first 5 or 6 races, Shane was a factor all night to win. Something would happen. We go to Texas, where him and Elijah Fisher battle for the win. Shane Hard ultimately would get the win. From that point on, skyrocketed to 21 to now 6 wins of the season. Of course, 2 weeks ago, the Daytona winner after a long 400-mile race. Right now, the way points look, Josh Henderson could very well be able to cut into this deficit, out by 44 coming into the night. Henderson right now running 2nd, just barely 3 seconds over Fisher. Well, let me be sure it is win number 6. This guy's got a lot of wins already. Yeah, so 6 wins. So right now, Shane trying to get number 7. 3 to go. Well, actually, look back at Elijah Fisher right now trying to reel in Josh Henderson. right now, really, Fisher pretty much stuck in third. Really, the spots are locked in. Well, we'll look with 2 to go. We'll see how the battle for 6th is going between Lyota and Hayden. I keep saying Hayden. I keep meaning to be saying Jason. Hayden runs Saturday nights. God almighty. But right now, that battle for 6th is kind of slowed down for the moment. We'll go back to Shane Har. Well, ladies and gentlemen, 1 to go. This time, whatever happens now happens. White flag for Shane.
Going in the straight line, Grant. What's that about?
You took the air off my left rear, and it put me in the wall.
Going in a straight line?
But right now, you see a little bit of frustrations between a couple of drivers down the back straightaway. Frustrations be damned.
Yeah, when I have damage.
Shane Har. Been a rough night up and down, but off of turn 4.
Dang, that sucks.
Shane Har wins at Atlanta. Win number 7. Josh Henderson off of 4. A much needed points payday. Henderson will get 2nd. Fisher 3rd. Hadaway 4th.
Good job picking me to Shane.
Mike Hauser will come in 5th.
Good win, Shane.
Thanks, guys.
Everybody finished.
Oh,
Stephen
what?
Henning comes on 8th.
I saw something behind me. Whoop.
Shane Har, buddy, you got permission to burn it down for the 7th time this season.
I might have been 51 laps down, but I finished the race.
Let's go ahead and get the driver to 21
Win,
in
Shane,
here.
buddy.
Shane Har, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got coffee?
I do.
Well, buddy, well, it started off looking like a race from hell. Able to persevere in the final few laps. Did you feel like the strategy call was not going to work out when Hauser and Henning and all them drivers started pitting? And then did you feel like Cade was going to try to go all the way? Like, what was your mentality in the last 20 laps?
Well, I knew we were going to be a little short on fuel, or those guys were going to be anyway. So I planned it out just right. Pitted with around 20 to go. I kind of figured, Darcy was on the same strategy there as Cade was. So I knew he couldn't make it. So that kind of told me Cade, whoever else back there couldn't make it as well. So really, we just had to beat Elijah. And he got ahead of us there in the pits, but we, managed to get around him fairly quickly there when we came out. And, we kind of just controlled it from there. So awesome race for us.
Yeah.
We love it. We needed it. So first race in the playoffs. So one more to lock us into the Final Four. So feels good. Hopefully we can get that done within the upcoming weeks and, focus on the championship.
Yeah, and alluding to this, one, he's going to hate to hear this, but you will max out all bonus points, get all 51 tonight. You were able to top Henderson by 5 laps led tonight. So, really, came into the night 68 to the good. Do you feel like even now, with this win, even if you do not get another win in the next 4 weeks, do you feel like it's a safe assurance that you can make the Final Four?
I think so now. We had a 68-point lead before this, so I think some consistent days we should be fine. But me, I'd like to rather go out and win it and lock myself in that way. So
I know.
that's what we're gonna try for.
Well, buddy, Real fast, 2 more questions. You know what one of them is, but look at next 3 weeks. We got Bristol, we got North Wilkesboro, we got New Hampshire. Obviously, Charlotte's coming up. You have adamantly said several times Charlotte's not your best track. But do you feel like any of the tracks going into next week is in your wheelhouse? And what do you feel like as far as yourself and the 7 other drivers trying to make it into the Final Four? How do you feel like these next 4 weeks are really going to test all of you?
Yeah, it's going to be a big test. I mean, tonight, playoff drivers were battling, so we weren't really giving each other space, and that's what I like. So when it gets down to crunch time, we all kind of, we're out there to fight. So I wouldn't expect, any of the other 7 guys to, let up or, give an inch. So we're all going for that championship, and, now's the time to go for it. So just look out for the upcoming weeks to get, maybe a little feisty. Who knows?
Yeah, sir, especially with short tracks coming up. We know how that goes. Last question, then I'll let you go out and celebrate. Win number 7. Is there anybody want to shout out? Friends, family, sponsors, etc. Anybody watching? It was a hell of a run. We honestly thought, I was hoping, no offense to you, but I was hoping Darcy would have been able to hold on just a little bit longer.
But, we all were.
But if there's anybody you want to thank, the floor is yours.
Yeah, you, Garrett, for broadcasting every week here. Elijah for putting this league on. Darcy over there in Toyota, he someone to talk to during the race, so that's always nice. And I guess my girlfriend, she's probably asleep, but thanks to her for letting me do these, and I'm sure she's waiting to see me. So thanks to her for letting me do this.
Yes, sir, buddy. Win number 7, halfway to being able to be locked into the Final Four. Shane Harr is your winner from Atlanta. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Appreciate you.
Let's get Shane Harr burns it down. Jim Bob's next to Josh Henderson. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, buddy, man, you're going to hate to hear this. Shane Harr does beat you out by 5 laps, so the bonus point will go to Shane Harr. But all in all, you finished second. Do you feel like it was a great points day through and through?
Yeah, I guess. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, or in Shane's case, lucky and good. So the whole race just came down to the one, people wrecking because they can't keep it straight. And then, of course, we get a caution. A couple guys in the back pit. They pass us within 3-4 laps. So you obviously can't keep up on them on old tires. And then everybody decides, hey, let's stop wrecking. So then it stretches out. And at that point, you're kind of at the mercy of hopefully somebody wrecks when I get to a good spot. And, of course, then nobody does. So it is what it is. Second sucks in that regard. Felt like I was actually one of the better ones out here. Finally. Felt good and just came up short. Nothing against Shane. He pitted. Me and my guys were talking about it, and we just decided not to there. Thought, well, we'll get another caution, right? And, yeah, it just never came. So, yep. Not happy.
Sorry about that headset disconnected. Naturally, you would during an interview. But, yeah, ultimately it was a chaotic night. Cautions galore. But whenever it does come down to pit straight, were you hoping that maybe you could get up there and battle with Shane and Elijah, or when it pretty much settled out, you're just at the mercy of the pit strategy? But whenever Shane passed you, do you feel like you could have maybe put up a little bit of more of a fight, or were you pretty much just at the realization that he was just on the move?
Yeah, I could have wrecked him. That's about all I could have done in that situation. So, if you go back and watch it, Elijah and Shane are about 5 seconds ahead of me when I make my pit stop. We come out, I'm about 5 seconds ahead of them. Shane runs me down, Elijah doesn't. I was able to pull back away from Elijah on old tires, even though I had 10, 15, 20 lap older tires than him. So I felt like I was fast, felt like I was good. Shane's always great. You know what it is? Yeah, he pitted when he should have. I didn't, and I think that was the difference maker. It's hard to tell because early in the race, it was crazy racing, right? We were 3 wide, 2 wide. I know some guys didn't like that, but I thought for the most part we were all holding our own until the tires started kicking in. It got too tight, and then obviously mistakes happen. But yeah, it was fun. I think honestly the race just came down to he pitted at the right time and got around me, and at that point, there was nothing I could do when he caught back up to me. I was saving tire the whole that last run, just thinking, okay, well, if I made the mistake at Michigan, right? My brother taught me that one, just save tire, save tire. So once I got by them, once they pitted, it was just in tire save mode, but he trained me down so stinking fast, and like I said, I saved enough to stay away from Elijah, but second's good, just sucks, because finally thought I had a shot to win one.
Yes, sir, buddy, but ultimately came into the night out by 44, but with some of the playoff drivers struggled tonight, I feel like you will be able to cut into that gap pretty decent, especially with Aaron Stanton going out early tonight. But we'll have to see whenever it comes out later in the week. But other than that, anybody want to shout out friends, family, sponsors, etc.? The floor is yours.
Yeah, I want to thank my buddies for watching if they are. Tried to get you 2 more subscribers tonight, but told them to pay attention to it. We'll see if they did or not. Tried to put on a show for them. Like I said, I thought I had a little extra set of eyes there, so I was trying to go for the win there. I thank my brother. We ran each other really close that race. Again, I don't know if that brother thing. I hope that wasn't my fault. I kind of went back and watched it. Looks like Cade bounced off the wall, and you made the call you had to make. So I tried to give him all the room in the world, and I think Aaron checked up, Shane didn't, and that's what kind of caused Aaron he left the Discord, so I didn't get to say bye to him. so I apologize. Like I said, I don't think that was my fault, but we didn't even have time to talk it out, and it was back to racing. So it's just a bad night for him, but still appreciate him doing this with me.
All right, buddy.
Appreciate you, Garrett. Thanks for putting them on. I know it's a lot of work on your end. Sounds like you're a little under the weather, man. Hopefully you're feeling good, and appreciate you doing this.
Ain't no problem, buddy. A good points night that Josh Anderson needed. Comes home second tonight. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Yep. He is right. If I wouldn't have to working out in the heat, about to have a heat stroke most days. All right. This is going to be good. Jim Bob Jenkins next to Elijah Fisher. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do.
Well, buddy, unfortunately, the Atlanta sweep does not come to fruition like you wanted. When you made the call to come in with Shane Hard, did you feel like you maybe had him at that point, or was it pretty much, what was the mentality going through that last pit stop, and where did you feel like you had positioned yourself in a good spot?
Yeah, ultimately, I wanted to get into pit road before he did. I felt like there was a lot of time to be gained just being on fresher tires a little bit sooner, but that didn't work out the way I had thought. But ultimately, the real story, the honest truth, is I got into pit road and we slid past the pit box just a touch. So I put it in reverse, got back in the box, and I made a last-second decision to just put right sides on it, and evidently that just was not the right call. It's tough because we worked really hard. I felt like we had a really good shot at it, and I don't know if that was really, it's just one of the factors that I felt like it just was not destined to be the night for the 4 team.
Well, and it's almost similar to how Saturday night went when we ran the super speedway version of this track, from back to the front, from front to the back, and over. You showed great speed tonight. At what point did you realize, because about 70-something to go, there's about 10 of y'all throwing haymakers at each other. At what point did you realize that maybe instead of racing this hard, try to go a little bit further distance? Where did the strategy call come in to pit so late?
For me, I guess just the early part of the race, we really put ourselves in a tough position really early, but I lucked out really good because I had a lot of notes running through my mind, a lot of different things that, I've watched greats in the 4-car in the past do, and a lot of that came into play really when we got that pit stop, and I was just able to kind of get the race where we needed it to. It was, I don't know, Garrett. I could sit here and tell you every complaint that's running through my mind in the race.
Don't trust me.
From just I mean, it just was one of them things where it's like I could give people some crap on some stuff, or say, you know, Colton. I mean, getting behind Shane and kind of help. I'm not gonna say he helped him, but you know, there was a little bit of. There's so many things I could say, but bottom line is, it's just. You know, I was talking with Ford guys just a moment before we got up here, and I really just said, look, it's the losses like this that are the reason why wins mean so much more when you do get them, because there's a lot of downs that come in racing, and you know, I don't want to complain, and I don't want to even start on a plethora of things, because it's not the direction of a driver I am, and a lot of this is just, it's 75% mental and it's 25% comes down to the actual skill. If you've got a good headspace and you can, you know, learn off of things, that's the most important thing. And it's a tough loss. I really felt like we had a really fast, freaky fast Jimmy John's Ford Mustang, and you know, it just fights a little bit, but we got a third place. We're on the podium. I get to talk to you about it, and you know, have
you can talk to me more afterwards.
Going crazy or not? I'm not.
Well, 2 more questions and then I'll let you go, because I know we still got drivers meeting to do. Or drivers meeting. Where the hell am I at? I know we still got admin meeting to do, but
hopefully you're in your home.
I hope I am. The next 4 weeks, I was alluding to it during the broadcast. It is going to be as if the first 2 rounds did not test the grit of the 8 playoff drivers, which includes yourself. Where do you feel like the next 3 weeks are really the drivers, yourself included, going to have to dig even deeper than what they've already done? For somebody like Stephen Hitting, just to name an example, has not had the best start to the playoffs following Darlington and tonight. Where do you feel like the challenges are going to lie over the next 4 weeks, especially with 3 short track races back to back to back?
Well, I think when we're talking about playoffs, you have, in this format anyway, we've got 6 races, and I think in any playoff format, football, hockey, basketball, whatever sport you do, never give up. You just can't give up 1 week to another. If I don't like the track next week, I don't give up. I have to push the same way I did in these 2 races. It doesn't matter where we're at in points. It doesn't matter about who's had bad races, who's had good races. The toughest thing is going to be what happens up in the head. If I'm beating myself up from a bad finish in the playoffs, then that's going to hurt me in the next 4 races, right? So I'm not going to... I don't care what track it is. You throw any of them at it, and I challenge people, you know, even just watching, you know, might be, oh man, you could have pushed a little harder to get to Shane tonight or whatever. I'm not saying anybody's saying that, but I'm just saying there have been people who have challenged me and been like, oh, it's just a game. I challenge those people. You guys would be the ones to be circling a race on this calendar, and I will tell you that's not the way I race. I got to get the drives are always going to be there. So there isn't a track that intimidates me. I don't care if it's Bristol, North Wilkesboro, Charlotte, New Hampshire. I'm excited for all of them. I think we've really established ourselves this season a lot, that there's some speed. I think people realize it. They know the sport car is a force to be reckoned with, or you know, we wouldn't be having some of the issues we have with the people getting in front of us. But you know, it's Bristol, baby. What can Bristol. I say?
Last question, and then I'm going to let you go. Is there anybody you want to thank tonight? Friends, family, sponsors, etc. The floor is yours.
Well, I got to thank man upstairs. None of this happens without him. Just got to thank him for being so blessed to be in the position every week. That fortunate to be able to do this, and got to thank Mom for watching. She's a big part of the reason why you keep doing this every week. You know, friends and family, of course, that might tune in. Anybody on the broadcast who's new, of course, give Garrett a sub. All the guys back at Ford, you guys help me through it every week. There were points tonight where I am sitting there. I'm like, guys, this is some crap, and just being able to talk me out of it. I didn't get any incident points tonight, so
Damn.
that's something to be happy with.
Yes, sir. You and Mike Hauser both. No surprise with Mike, however. But tonight, after a 15-point penalty last week, Elijah Fisher rectifies that mistake and will come out of Atlanta third. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Thank you, Garrett.
Yes, sir. That being said, I'm going to try one more interview, and then we'll go ahead and go through the results, but I want to see if he's around the microphone. Darcy Hart, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, buddy, darn, you had us going. You had us going for a second, buddy.
That's good.
Strategy did not pan out tonight, however. Got to lead some laps. What was your take on the whole night from start to finish?
Well, I was down a lap at the beginning, because I was in a wreck, and I just battled back and finally got up there to where I could actually lead a little bit, and it felt good.
Yeah.
I think this was one of my better races.
It definitely was one of your better races, buddy. I will ask you, because we were sitting here talking up here at the broadcast. Well, mainly talking to myself in the chat, but at one point, it kind of looked like you and Cade both were going for it, trying to stretch it out. Was that necessarily the case, and then eventually the fall-off got you better, or were you just hoping for a caution, or what was the plan in going longer than what any of the other drivers did?
Well, I used up my tires. Well, it didn't have any tires left, so I had to go. And I thought I could save just enough, but then I saw Cade was in front of me, so then I just used a little too much gas, and I just ran out of gas. I had to pit.
Well, ultimately, I mean, we ain't going to sit here and say you didn't fight tonight. You tried to block your boy down off of two. Ultimately, it was once and over. Darcy, first off, first time interviewing you, so happy to have you up here in the booth. I take the time for drivers. The more races I cover on this channel, the more I realize how big iRacing really is as far from the business aspect. So I give the drivers the time to think, whether it's friends, family, sponsors, etc. Buddy, the floor is yours to shout anybody out.
I'd like to thank the Toyota crew. They helped me out a lot, especially Shane. I'd like to thank him. I'd like to thank you in the booth there for broadcasting this. Sure makes it interesting.
I try to keep it interesting. But, buddy, I'll be darned. Yeah, you had us all going for a second. Comment section came alive more in that one instance than what it had all night. But congratulations on a good run, not the finish you wanted. But Darcy Hart will come home 13th tonight. Appreciate your time, buddy. Hell of a job.
Thank you, buddy.
Yes, sir. I've been waiting for that interview for so long, and I could not pass it up. With that being said, we're going to go through the final results here. Shane Har, what can be said? Win number 7, able to get it done tonight. And if he wins any of the next 4 races to come, Shane Har will know for a fact he will be racing for a championship August 11th. Josh Henderson, much needed points day. Came into the night minus 44. He ought to cut into that gap a decent chunk. Elijah Fisher, 3rd. You heard him in the interview. Slid through the pit box. Had to make a gutsy call. That does not work out for him. Fisher will finish 3rd. Bobby Hadaway, a great run. Could come home 4th. Mike Hauser in 5th. Chris Loda, 6th. Jason Williams, 7th. Stephen Henning, able to salvage a great run tonight. Jordan Jorno will come home 9th. Not the run that the 84 needed. Kay Kennan led early in the race, but unfortunately will have to settle for 10th after a strategy call does not go his way. Brent Hammerhand 11th. Thomas Hernandez 12th. Darcy Har in 13th. Colton Ward 14th. Joseph Maddox, Robert Real Hoyt and AJ Thompson, that is 15th, 16th, and 17th. And then probably, wouldn't say the biggest shock, but something that we were talking about how playoff drivers needed a good run. Aaron Stanton will come home in the 18th spot. And that lead that he had came into the night plus 56. That would definitely take a blow as Stanton will round out the field in the 18th position. With that being said, great broadcast. Chaotic race to say the least. Extremely chaotic. But there was some of everything. Strategy, pit strategy, green flag runs. At the end of the day, though, Shane Hoare plays the pit strategy right and will get win number 7. And will he be able to go back-to-back and lock himself into the playoffs next week? Well, unfortunately, we got to wait till next week to find out. Until then, should be a few more races to be broadcasted. We're working on them now. And then catch the first opening round of the Inspired ARCA Series. The first round of playoffs begins Saturday. Until then, I will see each and every one of you again throughout the week. Everybody, stay safe this week, and hope everybody enjoyed it. Have a good night.